Hi, my name's Pat Gunn, and I've been blogging with text for several years. I have several thousand text blog entries, and I think this is my second video blog entry. I've been reluctant to do blog entries in video for a number of reasons. One of them is that I like the ability to go back and edit things, and the tools to do that with video are relatively primitive, and that we can't seamlessly construct a, a stream of ideas in video and go back and remove one without having a clip, like having if I suddenly digress off of one topic into another and then go back and decide I'd like to remove that. If I were to just go back and edit it out, then you would notice that like my head is in a different position. The audio probably would clip, although conceivably there could be ways to smooth that out, provided that there's no background music and things of that sort. Anyhow, I mean, there's all these reasonable assumptions that we might make that if people stay within those bounds, one can reasonably imagine editing being able to remove blemishes and ideas that we're not happy with the way they're expressed. With video, things are relatively final, and so it doesn't really promote a thoughtful exploration of ideas. And yeah, as I said, the tools are relatively primitive, and that if I'm writing something, well, I could easily jot it down with pen and paper. I could be editing it in a text editor, and I can lay those ideas out several times and have the opportunity to revise them. It's essentially one of the oldest pieces of technology. With video, the tools are still not really in their infancy, but it's just by nature a harder media to work with, and the tools certainly aren't as well developed as they could be. Particularly on some platforms. Being a Linux geek, I might have access to less nice tools than what's available, say, on Macs. So, yeah, I like the editability of blogs, of text blogs. With video, on the other hand, you get to see all the gestures. You get to hear the tonal variation in people's voices, which sometimes I imagine when they review these things, they probably notice that they have verbal habits, facial habits, things of that sort that they're not really used to. I mean, we don't really normally spend a lot of time looking at our own faces and hearing our own voices, so it's probably a novel experience for a lot of people. Still, video, because we can make better emotional connections with people, because it relies on the same verbal cues that presumably we've evolved to have. It probably creates the possibility for a more involved readership. Emotionally creates, I wouldn't say possibility, but probability. It makes it more probable that we'll emotionally become attached to someone. Even if you find someone whose text you greatly admire, say the Roger Ebert, or I'm having trouble thinking of too many other people who are whose words, I guess, are well known outside of their video presence, that we've come to see them as personalities, except as authors. I mean, being an author of a book is an entirely different type of thing. But I would suspect that in the general case, even the best providers of text dialogue, apart from, again, authors, like most bloggers, you're not going to become as attached to them as to the video bloggers because of the missing cues that we've evolved to see as emotionally significant. And that possibility is it's exciting to be able to work with it. Again, there's the limitations of not being able to go back and edit as easily. But I suspect that people who get used to it, who get used to this medium, they learn not to need so many edits. It's probably not too far different from people who are TV personalities, especially those that are used to broadcasting things live. And that, I mean, you see the Bill O'Reillys and the Olbermanns and uh, uh, basically all of those people. They've had years to perfect the craft of looking into the camera, of learning all the right gestures. Like you'll see they'll nod or they'll move their head in a certain way. All these little mannerisms they serve to endear themselves to the average reader, um, and to enhance the points that come across. I imagine that politicians might actually study this in a more formal way. The psychology of crowds is probably something that people could learn to manipulate effectively. Um, I don't anticipate doing those things myself. I'm not really a people person, but it's interesting, and I guess occasionally thinking about these things and doing video blogs and talking about them might be a worthwhile pursuit. So I guess I'm going to sign off with that for now, and I'll put this up on YouTube, and maybe if I have other ideas on what to talk about in the future, I'll put them up as well. Well, this is Pat Gunn, Improv, signing off.